you. Well, I was wondering on Valentine's Day if we would have very many people. So thank you. And what's your wife's name?
Alex.
Alex. Thank you both for coming so much. And Jeannie, thank you for coming. And Lisa, last minute, thank you for coming.
You're
Lisa
welcome.
used to be in our ward. Okay, well, this is basically a training, so you're going to hear some business as well as, oh, here's another person. Yay. I just wanted to review a little bit and go over some things. First of all, a review of last month, we talked about ideas to energize people about family. And when I sent my last email,
talking about the summer place of.
If there's somebody talking, is somebody not muted?
Hold on, I think I can mute him.
Oh, there we go. Thank you. And in the email that I sent out to everybody, I sent the remaining of the ideas that we had. I was kind of waiting to see if I had more emails come in. And so the ideas that we had about helping to energize people about family history, I sent in a handout. If you didn't get it, put your email in the chat and we'll send it to you. Actually, I'm going to send it again this month to everybody. So if you didn't get it last month, they'll put your email in the chat so I can send it to you. And then some of the other ideas they had were to do 8 greats for when they're turning 8 years old, because it's great to be 8, have them learn 8 of their great grandparents. Put tasks on a bookmark with a reward after accomplishing that. Do a storybook or make a story into a book where children can draw pictures to go with the story. Okay, our goal, just a reminder, is learn, then serve. And remember that and you can start letting people in your ward know this if you'd like to. We've tried to open it up to the consultants first, that we have one-on-ones where we can help give you a little consultation. You just have to sign up. We have a link to a Google Doc that you can sign up for one of us so that you can have a one-on-one with us for a research. I can't think of the word. Consultation, that's a word. Then also just a reminder that Heather's put together a list of all the classes that we taught last year, and there's a link that will take you to a Google Doc and on that Google Doc there are links to every one of the classes. And so when I send an email to everybody out after this class, a follow-up, I'm going to include both of those links, the Google Doc for the sign up and the link to the Google Doc with all the classes. Then I encourage you to yourself sign up for Roots Tech, and to encourage everyone that you know in your wards to sign up for Roots Tech. This is such an opportunity because it's free. And one of the cool things is that they're going to have that relative finder type thing, relatives around me, where once you're signed in, right now they're going to start telling you how many people are related to you, but when it opens, then you're going to be able to find out who is related to you and Roots Tech. And with so many thousands and thousands of people that have signed up for that, that's going to be pretty fun to see who might be related to you. So, and I'll send a link in that email too after this as well, but you just basically have to just Google Roots Tech 2021. Coming up with our classes is next week, Nancy's going to teach on getting ready for Roots Tech. Then Roots Tech is the next week, 25th through the 27th. If you do sign up, go to the vendor booth and come and look at Price Genealogy. That's my booth. That's my boss's booth, but I put it together. So you come and see. February 28th, Nancy's going to teach on what I learned at Roots Tech, which will be very valuable. And then on March 21st, I got Tyler Critchfield in our ward has said that he will go ahead and teach us a class on using Google Maps to find cemeteries and teaching you how to get to those cemeteries. So that'll be really cool.
Which day in March again?
I think you said the 21st.
Yeah, I wanted to be when my daughter was here.
That was the 21st, right?
No, the week before that.
Oh, I thought it was the 21st.
But then the reason we didn't choose that is because it's the second Sunday.
Oh,
Oh,
that's right.
that's why. That's why. I remember.
Thank you, Heather. And then in the future, we're really excited. We have I think in Nancy's stake, someone who is experienced in Native American genealogy. She worked at the Family History Library as a volunteer, but she's done a presentation with 2 professionals on African American, and they all 3 have said that they will come and teach us. One of them did our African American last year, so it'll be really good. So just things to look forward to kind of tell people in your wards and get them excited about things coming up. We're still on the move, trying to get things exciting for people to learn. So today, for our discussion, because when we have training meeting, I like to do more of a discussion. But what I thought I would do is kind of pretend like I'm doing a blackboard. So this is my screen. Can you see it? Okay. Can you see step 1, step 2, and everything? Okay. So what I want to discuss is how to help people with family history. If you have someone that you want to help, what are you supposed to do? So I have 3 steps, and the step 2 is going to involve a little more. First of all, step 1 is that make sure that you're clear about what they want to do. I know in my occupation at work, we have people calling us all the time with specific things that they would like for us to accomplish. And we've had times when they've been very disappointed because they've spent a lot of money and we didn't do what they wanted us to do. And so I've learned how important it is to try and get real clear in our minds what they're asking. You know, what do they really want to know? And what do they really want to do? So it's helpful to be clear about that. Step 2 is to remember you don't have to be a genealogist to help people, but it is very useful to know where to go to get help. So that's what we're going to have a little discussion. So first thing, what if somebody came to you or this could be just you wanting to know too, you know, if you're not a consultant, you just want to know how to do these things. So what if somebody approached you, or if you just wanted to start doing anything, just anything at all in Family Search because you've been commanded to do it and just want to do anything? What could you tell that person? I put the one thing is to give them the handout from last month, you know, because that's full of all kinds of links of different things that they can do. So what are some other ideas that you have that if someone approached you and said, I just want to do something in Family Search, what would be the first thing you would tell them to do?
Inside the inductance.
Start with yourself.
And you tune up a channel.
Thoughts?
But how do you set up a channel to begin with? So you put the channel.
Did you hear Diane?
What?
Oh, she said start with yourself.
Oh, who said that?
Me.
Diane.
So like simply like round.
Because I hear somebody else talking, but that's not
Sharpen it to make it flat.
that's not any of us, is it? That person
And
talking?
turn it,
It's me,
tune it up like
the other Diane.
Oh.
tune it up like a radio.
Are you saying something, or is that just somebody in the background?
So then when you switch, it's
That's my family in the background.
Oh, okay.
so a lot of the time.
Yeah, maybe you could mute him whenever you're not talking. Is that possible? Oh, there you go. Thank you. Thank you, Diane. Okay, start with yourself. Oops. Okay, other ideas? What would you do if you started with yourself? What would you do with yourself on Family Search?
Sign up.
Okay.
So I would do, I just helped my son write a paper. So I would go who, what, when, where, why. And then start filling in like achievements made or um, start with the records like censuses, immigration. That's what I did for my husband. And so we just automatically filled out when we were first married all of the places he had lived, because that was necessary for him to become a U.S. citizen.
Oh, very good. Very good. You know, I just remembered, and maybe Nancy's going to cover this, but it seems like I got an email from the Family Search that said that you can just store your photos there, all your photos. I was, you know, in the past, it was just our family ancestors, but they were talking about you can just put in all your photos. So you don't have to lose them. Is that right, Nancy?
They said not all of your photos, just the important ones. So they said if you have 56 pictures of your child stuffed animal, leave them out.
But it's a good place to store your precious photos.
Yes, this is a new offering of Family Search.
Yeah, it's a new cloud, the new cloud that they have for it. And
right.
It's a great place to store your photos. It's awesome.
And it's good timing because Google Photos is about to limit your capacity in June.
Oh boy. Okay, that's good to know.
So I just went to Staples and got a 2 terabyte drive, and I started saving all my photos from my camera onto this new drive.
Good. Well, you know, that might get people interested in Family Search, knowing they can put their photos there. So that's one thought to help them get started.
I would probably work on memories, like adding a memory, like starting to learn about my grandparents or my greats.
Oh, there you go.
And like write in one of their stories.
One of the
if
things
they didn't know how to add memories, you could direct them to one of our classes and send them a link to that.
One of the things that was in the booklet when the church was using the booklet, especially for new converts, to keep track, to get them started in family history, was to write, what do I hope my children remember and my grandchildren remember about me? And so you would kind of start out a family sketch or a personal sketch for your page on Family Search, and maybe that's one of the things you would include is, what do I hope my family remembers about me? And then what do I remember about my parents and my grandparents and other ancestors that you personally knew?
All right, awesome. Okay, let's go to the next question. What if somebody didn't know how to use Family Tree or Ancestry.com? What would you do? Oops. Oh, it's the next page. I put here, given the links to our classes, because we have several classes on Family Search and Ancestry. Show them help on Family Search. Have someone work individually with them. Do you have any other ideas?
I'm amazed at YouTube.
That's excellent. Any other thoughts?
Well, you say you have someone work individually with them, and that someone might be you.
True.
I've had my grandchildren say, well, Nana, you've done so much. I want to do something, but I don't know where to start. And I have had trouble convincing them that attaching hints is the place that they could start.
Can I go back up here and add that here?
Yeah. But I was surprised. I called one of my granddaughters this week and said, would you please go find Hugh Michael in the cemetery? And I've already done that, but I thought that might get her interested, since she was one of the ones that said, you've already done it, Nana. And I think, and because she's going to school in that hometown now. And I think she was excited about something that she could do.
Awesome. Yeah, I like that. Maybe I should get my sister. She lives near San Francisco, and my great grandparents are buried there. So maybe I should send her to go do that. That's a good idea. Okay. No other thoughts about how to help people with learning and family tree or ancestry.com. I have one thought. It's like, jump in. Don't be scared. It won't break. Just try it. What was that one commercial? Mikey likes it. Remember that commercial?
Yeah.
I can't remember, it was a cereal or something. Mikey likes it.
Yeah.
Okay, what if somebody wants to find a name to take to the temple? Some things you could do, show them where Ordinances Ready is and explain how it works. Give them a link to the Descendant Research class if they're really into it. It's one of our classes. Or your ideas. What are some of your ideas? How they could find a name to take to the temple?
I think that the app for your phone called Hope Chest is kind of too general. It might find names of people that haven't been researched enough, but that is kind of a way to do it. That rather replaces the app that used to be called Take a Name.
Does it cost money? It seems like it said something about a subscription.
I don't remember. I've never used it.
Oh, okay. We haven't used it though. Okay. Any other ideas? You could do a descendant view. Oops. Sometimes I'll go to an ancestor way back.
Yeah, descendant.
And then I won't click on descendant view. What I do is I just go back to them and I do the tree view. And with the tree view, you see their children, and then you can click on each of the arrows going back and see their children and their grandchildren and their grandchildren. And so it's not really a descendant view. It's like, okay, I'll put pick.
I like the feature that they have on there of the family group record with resources.
Family group record with resources.
Yeah, on the right hand side, down towards the bottom. And so I go through and I check each one of those links and see if there's any additional information that I can find out of them. Make it very systematic.
Sometimes we have aunts and uncles or cousins that have died that we haven't had their temple work done for yet, and who we can either get permission from their closer relatives or else they've already passed 110 years old.
Right, and that's one reason why, and maybe this is what Diana's saying too, is why I do the methodical descendant coming down, is because usually people get missed when you get closer to 1910. Because if somebody did a few years ago, they were still either living or you had to have permission. So it's good to come down as far as you can, find the cousins that are born in the early 1900s. Okay, what about, they want to know, where do you go, or direct them to, my question doesn't make sense here. Where do you go or direct them to if you don't know the answer to a question? What happens if they ask you something hard?
Send them to Diane.
Diane asked me something hard and I haven't had a chance to look at it yet.
I was about to say, send them to Diane or Nancy.
Yeah, I'm starting to write a book about my second great grandfather who mysteriously came from Germany, and I don't know what ship he's on. I know what year he came, and I know when he came to the US, he was one of the frontier missionaries for Galveston, Texas.
Oh, cool.
So there's a book written by the Evangelical Lutheran Church in Galveston that tracked every single place he went. and what years. So that's extremely helpful for me, but I'm not, even though my ancestry is German, I don't exactly have a handle on reading it yet. So,
Well, one thought I had for you, I'm going to look at it. I will. But one thought is that, and Nancy's going to talk more about this, is that Family History Library now has a virtual research strategy session. I wonder if you could sign up with somebody who's German.
yeah, that'd be really good.
Actually read some of the records, but that's just a thought. Okay, but some other thoughts is that you could go to the Family Search Wiki, whatever their question is, and see if maybe you can find an answer, or you can like ask one of us. I'm also going to send a, sorry.
So in the past, I also sent people that I didn't know a question to the helpline. It was like 1-866.
Oh, cool.
I know it was like 1830, 404, 1830. And that usually got them closer to finding the answer to their question.
That's good. I'm going to send up, even the email that I'm going to send after this class, I have 3 handouts. One of them is just a strategy outline. It's kind of an order that I take when I'm researching, that I start with, and what I try next, and what I do next, and what I do next. And the other 2 are, it's called Simplified Strategy 1 and Simplified Strategy 2. It's more in detail of everything that's in this strategy. So I'll attach those PDF files. So, you know, and I don't know the answer to every question. It's like, I'm not sure that I know the answer to Diane's question, but I'm going to look into it. And then you just start asking people, you know, you start with us, we ask somebody else, and eventually you hopefully get directed to the person who knows the answer. It's like I had a question about Africa. There was a country in Africa, I can't remember which country it was now, that he was trying to figure out for his wife. And so I went to the wiki, the Family Search Wiki, and looked up that country to find out what there was. I even Googled the name of that country plus family history or genealogy to see what I could learn about that country. And basically what I learned is that a lot of it's word of mouth, and they're going to go visit it so they can start doing that. So, you know, you don't have to be a genealogist. I'm a genealogist and I don't know the answers to all the questions. You just have to know where to go to look for them. And the wiki is a great place. This virtual strategy session will be a great place because it's free. So just keep asking, keep Googling, just keep trying, because the Lord will direct you. It's just amazing how your mind opens up. I can't tell you how many times I'm working on a problem and I'm not sure what to do. And then all of a sudden it will just, I'll feel really confused. And then all of a sudden things just clear. They just start to clear out and you begin to understand more what direction you should take. So don't underestimate the power of prayer. Oh, let me write that down. Pray. I'm going to put that first. Prayer is amazing when you don't know the answer to a question. Also, the sign up for a research session with one of us, like I told you earlier, and we're going to send you the link for that. So do you all have any other ideas of things you can do? If people have a question you don't know?
I think that if people really don't know where they want to start, something that often works, I think, is to play a game.
You want to go back up to the top where they don't want to start then? That's more if they have a specific question that you can't answer. So we can go back up here with
okay.
Play. What to do to start doing is play a game.
Play a game, and there used to be some on kind of by the My Partners, finding your partners on that part of Family Search, but there still are games that can be found. And I'm sorry, I can't tell to you off the top of my head.
Well, in the handout that I had last month, Nancy, the first
yes, you had them down, didn't you?
Links to some of the places that have games. So that'd be helpful. One
of the games that I came across or developed was my daughter was taking a trip to my parents' hometown. And I said, well, and of course you're going to go visit the cemetery. And she said, you think my boys would be interested in spending any time in the cemetery? And that cemetery is very important to me. So I said, well, I'll make a game. And so I made a scavenger hunt of 10 things to find in the cemetery. And I said that if they found them, I'd buy them ice cream cones when they got back to town. And so they found them all, but then they couldn't find any place in town to get ice cream cones.
That's
But
what bribery. Bribery is always.
yeah, and they ended up, I think, like one of my uncles has a picture of his barn on his stone. So it was pretty easy for them to find the relative with the barn. And another one was a truck driver, and he had a picture of his big truck. And so they found his stone. And then they found my baby's stone. And then they found the oldest one they could find. And the oldest person, the person that was born the longest ago. And they found my dad's tile on the veterans plaque. And I think that they got an introduction to family search or to family history. It didn't take them very long. None of them came out saying, oh, I'm going to be a genealogist for my career. But it gave them an introduction to the fact that there were people that were real live people that we had known that were now buried in the cemetery. So I thought that was, I was pleased with that idea for a game.
Yeah, that's a great idea for a game. Okay, does anyone else have ideas for what to do if someone has a question that you don't know the answer to?
I could kind of tell.
Work a while on
Probably
their,
because none of us know the answers, right?
if we take their family and work on it for a while, just fiddling around on who they're, look up their parents, because no doubt they're still alive. But if we could look up the first person in their family that's dead and just look up. In fact, I want to do this with the sister that gave us a name at the end of last week's lesson. And when I looked up that person's name, I found all kinds of hints that needed to be looked at and large families, and I found really quite a bit. And so apparently she still wanted something more, assuming that she had already looked at that. She needed more than just what she asked for in the class. But sometimes if one of us would look at, or somebody different would look at what they're interested in, we just might see something pretty obvious to do.
Yeah, sometimes yeah, that's good, because it's like we had this one lady that we're doing some research for, and she was stuck on this one line. And I said, well, have you looked at any land and probate? And she said, no. So, there's things that people haven't thought of that we can lead them into. But, that's where if you sign up for a Google, we can give you a list of ideas, A, B, C, go look at all these different things and see what you can find. So, and then actually, maybe it would be helpful if you send the person to us to be on we could do a Zoom thing together. And so you can watch us giving them consultation. It can help you also learn how to a little bit more on that.
If I can figure out how to get a hold of that sister, I don't even remember for sure her name. I'd kind of like to do that for one of my lessons, is to take that relative of hers and say, okay, what would you do? And different ones of us can, maybe say, oh, let's look for census, or oh, let's look for this or that. And we might be able to give her some, we might also all benefit from seeing the flow of, oh, you could try this and what does it show? And we could try this and what does it show?
Right. And maybe one of these might help too, because it has a list of different things that you can do in an order, kind of starting for the easiest and going into the harder ones. Okay, then finally, step 3 is to follow up. So step 1 is to make sure you have clear in your mind what they are asking and what they want to do. Step 2, direct them wherever you think that they should go, whether if it's something just basic they want to get started, if they want to find a temple name, if they were trying to find something a little bit harder, to know how to direct them, to know where to direct them. And then follow up And because sometimes, you know, they get enthused for a week and then they forget. So you want to keep going back and just say, well, have you done what I asked you to do? Okay, so that's basic, and I will be sending all of that to, oops. Oh yeah, I do want to save that. But, so I can send, I thought I'd send this handout to you all too. And now we'll turn the time over to Nancy to finish out. How do I make this, my screen big again? Oh, stop sharing. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now Nancy's going to teach a little bit more about what Family Search, the new stuff that they're offering.
So what I like to do on our training days at the end is kind of tell about any new things that I've learned about. And so there was an article in the Church News a couple of weeks ago about updating the Family History Library website. And I looked quite a bit on Google about the Family History Library website, and I didn't find it easily. But this is the address: FamilySearch.org, Family History Library. So it's amazing how big the Family Search site is. But so this is the website, and they're in the process of improving it. They don't have everything done yet that they want to do, but maybe right now is a good time to be working on it, because it is closed for general use due to the pandemic. And so this is a good time for them to remodel. I think I've mentioned to you that the last time I went to the Family History Library, I was amazed at how empty the shelves were, because they are taking the books down from the shelves and cutting the spines off and digitizing them, so that now books that used to be available only at the library are often, in fact, I would think probably more often than not, available online. And so when you look at the library catalog and you find a book, it will often give you a link to read this book online. Click here, and then you can click there. But so this are some of the things about the library. So they're saying that they have updated their web presence. Now, these numbers here just could blow your mind. 340,000 genealogically unique books. 1.3 million microfilms, and each microfilm has on it like what, 100 pages or more. 190,000 microfiche, and the microfiche have 50 or 100 or so pages on them. A collection of 18,460 maps from around the world. And some of these things are available only at the Family History Center, but a lot of them are being digitized. Now, one of the things they have started doing is they have started offering research consultations. So if you have a specific problem in your own research, like we just talked about, but you want to get advice on it, you can, by following the links from the Church News article, you can sign up for online consultations. And I presume it'll be kind of like Zoom, where you go in to a family history librarian and show them your family group sheets and your pedigree charts, and they will give you ideas on what to do next. And these are going to be free. And you know, you could pay somebody like in Diane's firm or others, but the fact that here they're going to be offered for free, I think is something great. And all you have to do is just sign up to get that option. And they started that in June, I guess.
Just to let you know, also with this, one of our researchers that works for us is actually a volunteer that does that. So you're going to get the benefit of professionals.
Wow. Wonderful. Then they're also having webinars, and webinars are classes that are being taught online. And the list in this article was starting things that were in June, but I looked up through the wiki and I found the classes that are being offered in February. And the classes in February were, I think, how to search for land records and how to search for immigration records. And I think that they're going to have they're all labeled either beginner or intermediate or advanced. And I think that those would be a great way to take a class when you get to it. You know, maybe today we don't know that we want to know about immigration, but maybe next week we'll find out somebody that we want to know about how they immigrated. So that was interesting. They're also working on putting more things into the Help Center. I know that I don't use the Help Center very much. I think that probably the Help Center is something that really has a lot of potential to help us if we would. Now, so do you know what I'm talking about when I say the Help Center? I am saying that if you go to Family Search and after you sign in, then here's this question mark, and this question mark is the Help Center. And you can type in your keywords of what you think you need help with, and it can help you. Or you click down here on Help Center, and it will take you to all of these links that will give you ideas of it just has more stuff there than what we have ever guessed. At least it does for me.
Look, did you notice it's new at the bottom? They have DNA testing. They have classes on DNA, which is really helpful.
They have classes on DNA. They don't do DNA testing.
No, but they do
get the
teach
testing
you.
done someplace else.
But you can learn about it. That's what I think is great. They have classes
I
on
do
it.
too. I do too. We talked before about the new feature on Family Search called ancestors.familysearch.org. And so here is the page for my great-great-grandpa Hugh Michael. This is who I told my granddaughter she ought to go find his grave in the farmland outside of Adair County, Missouri. Another thing that we would want to talk about, I think, is on Facebook, and I don't have it already pulled up. I might not be able to pull it up fast enough, but if we were to do a search for Family History Center, well, Family Search Live is what I mean. If we do a search for Family Search Live, every week, this gal here has some kind of a interview with Family History Library employees in which they discuss something specific. And I have really enjoyed what I have heard them talk about on Family Search Live. So I don't know about you, but I've kind of lost interest in mainstream television. But boy, have I started loving Facebook Lives and YouTubes. And so this is an example of taking an hour instead of watching a TV show, watching a Family Search Live, and you get far better teachers than me teaching about what it is that's the topic for the week. And then I didn't seem to keep it pulled up, but I had pulled up the YouTube, The Road to Roots Tech. And their plan is to show every week something new to help us get ready for Roots Tech. And last week they did a whole show on how useful the Roots Tech website is going to be, but I don't think they've got that website active yet because I can't find it. So if any of you are smarter than me and you've been able to find it, let me know. But it is something that we should all explore at the beginning of Roots Tech to help us plan our classes and to help us plan who we want to visit in the expo hall and to help us know who is talking at the keynote speakers. They have got a dozen marvelous keynote speakers this year. One of them is the university president at Utah Valley University, who grew up in the slums of Manila and was invited to go to a school where she was taught to learn to read and write, and then that opened up the rest of her life and the rest of her world for her. And so I always thoroughly enjoy at Roots Tech the keynote speakers. And at the other Roots Techs, the keynote speaker talks once, and some of them are saved, but this year they plan on having all of them streamable so that you'll be able to watch any of them for about a year. And I just have really found inspiration to kind of keep me interested in family history and energized about good people in the world. So I recommend that we all follow through on those there. And then Elder Holland will be talking on Saturday morning. But the Roads to Roots Tech, if we watch that show on YouTube every week, it will should help us be ready. So I recommend that. Now then next week, I hope that I've been able to find that website, or that it by then is live and we can really talk about some more specifics. But so tonight, my idea was to suggest to you things for beginning your plan. Oh, I did want to show you one more thing about Roots Tech. And then I will have accomplished my 2 things for tonight. One of the options that they have this year at Roots Tech, and gee, I wonder if I can pull it up. I should have left it pulled up. And that is, they're having a Roots Tech Connect. And that is part of what they are doing to help people find their relatives that will be at Roots, that are also attending Roots Tech. And so you have to, first of all, go ahead and do your regular registration, but then you also have to do a Roots Tech Connect registration. And I think that one of the reasons I was having such trouble when I first was trying to sign up for Roots Tech is that I signed up twice, once for Roots Tech and once for Roots Tech Connect. So then you take your phone, and on your phone, you have to go to the, well, I have to make my phone work. Yeah, you have to go to the Family Tree app. And when the Family Tree app opens up, right at the very top, there is a little square. You probably can't even see it, but it says, find relatives at Roots Tech. And when you have signed up for Roots Tech Connect, as well as Roots Tech, then you get this little square showing up on your app. And so on mine, it says that so far, 96,857 people have registered to go to Roots Tech 2021, but of those, 15,296 are my relatives. And it says it can't really figure that out accurately for you unless you have an account at Family Search, and that the more ancestors of your own that you have on Family Search, the better it's going to be able to help you find them. Now, I am not going to be able to make contact with 15,296 people at Roots Tech, but I can probably, and this is not going to go live and tell me who those are until the first morning of Roots Tech. But then I'm going to be able to go through and look at last names. And so anybody that's got the last name of Everett, I'm not too interested in. Wilden, I'm not too interested in. Guyman, I'm not too interested in. Because those are lines of my family that have been pretty well researched. But Michael is the line that I've researched. So I'm going to go through and look for people whose last name is Michael or some of the other last names that are associated with the Michael family. So, and that will go live the first day of Roots Tech.
Tell us again where you sign up for that.
You sign up at Roots Tech Connect 2021 registration. Can you see it here on my screen?
Yeah, okay.
That's where you'll check. But you'll find out if you've already done it by looking on your app on your phone. And if it has that blue line at the top that says find relatives at Roots Tech, then you'll know you already did it. Like I didn't know I'd already done it.
Okay, I don't have a root.
And if you don't have the app on your phone, there's a link that they had in one of the emails that they've been sending out. Then you can just find it. I wonder if I can find that email and forward it.
Yes, please do.
There's a link that takes you straight to it in one of the emails that they sent to me.
I signed up, but I haven't received any emails from them.
I'll see if I can find that email and send the link.
So I just signed into Family Search on the computer and it said join Roots Tech right at the top.
What we're talking about for the special thing where you can do the relatives.
This is the special.
I think that's what I'm doing.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what I'm doing on it.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
So, and we'll probably talk about this more next week.
Okay.
But I just
perfect, Nancy.
wanted to
That's
get us
perfect.
started on that now. So those are my couple of topics for tonight. So Diane, I'm finished.
Okay.
And it didn't take me half an hour.
That's okay. You want to stop sharing your screen?
Oh, yes, if I can, I have to at
the top, I think, isn't it? It says
no,
stop
it's down
sharing.
here on the bottom, actually. I need to move this part up. Well, and then I have to make it go smaller or something. And then I can come down here to stop sharing.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay, well, we have a few minutes left. Does anybody have questions that you would like to ask and we can help with?
Do any of the new consultants that are here that haven't been to a training meeting before, do you want us to get with you and find out what you need to know and what you need to do next? That's part of the purpose of the Family History Library, is to train others.
Yes, because our calling is also state consultants. So
yes,
even though we're attached to the library, our calling is a state consultant.
I cannot help but think that the temples are going to open before long. You know, we just see signs of that. One of the signs that I see as a sign that life's going to continue is when I look at the website for COVID in Utah, and I see that for over a month we've been having a general decline in cases. I think it's going to open up, and certainly the Lord intends us to be doing a lot of temple work, or we would not be having three new temples under construction in Utah County right now.
Yeah, but
I have a question. We've kind of finished all our live records, and now we're going to be merging deceased. And I know we covered that one time, but whenever I get into a merge, the thing that kind of I get stopped on is I feel like I got to attach some sort of vital record as a verification as to why I think that record takes precedence over the other record. And what's the easiest way? And maybe I can look up on what you said, you know, questions, and maybe it'll tell me there again on it. And then I've been reading the paperwork that I got from the Family History Library to try and figure out what to do, but it seems like I'm just not quite clear on how to attach a vital record. In other words, I'm on the merge. I get to that point. Why are you doing this? Or why do you think this record has precedence over that one? And then I feel like I need to attach a vital record along with my comment.
Are you talking about merging people, or are you talking about documents? Because when you're
merging duplicates, I'm trying to start.
Duplicate people, right?
Right.
When
Let
you're
me
merging,
tell you something, and then have Diane agree with me or not, and you agree with me, or then we can discuss it. The first thing I would do is I would open up that person's page,
Okay.
and I would edit his page. So, for example, and it might take me a minute to pull up somebody, but and then I would have to share my screen again. But I would pull up somebody, and then I would look to see if there was something that I could add about them already. So let me see how fast I can get to Family Search.
That makes sense. So you
Because-
do it on the
because-
individual's page.
Yes, I would do it on their page first.
Okay.
So here's my dad.
Okay.
Okay, so I would go to my dad's page, and I would want my dad's page to be as correct and updated as possible. So, for example, if I knew more about his birth date than somebody else did, like maybe I have a copy of his birth certificate, then I would click on the little pencil by his birth information, and then I would get to this page, and I would update what it was that I knew. Like maybe I knew that he really was born on Christmas instead of the day after, or whatever. Then I would change that, and I would say why this information is correct. Then, after I knew that his page was right, then I would do the merge. And so then I would come down to over here where it says find possible duplicates. And it's going to tell me right now that he doesn't have any. But I would then be able to go to the merging screen if there was somebody else that had his same name. And when I got to that merging screen, and I can't pull it up quickly, Rick, I'm sorry. But on the one side of the page, it is going to have, well, first of all, in the process of getting to the merge screen, you're going to have 2 different identifying computer numbers. And I always write those down on a piece of scratch paper.
Okay.
And so then I think that the right-hand side of the page is the page that has whatever's on that side is what's still going to be on the side when you're finished.
Right.
And what's on the other side is what's not going to exist anymore.
Right.
And when you look at it, as you go, you can scroll down with your mouse, and it's going to say birth information. And it's going to say what the one record says about its birth and what the other record says about its birth. And if they're different, it's going to give you the possibility of, there's a little arrow, and you can click on the arrow, and it will move it over to the side that you're keeping. And then if it has a marriage information and a wife that's not on the page you're keeping, you can click on the arrow and it will move it over. But you will have already known what was the right information based on what you've already searched out on his own page.
So you don't have to attach the vital record then.
No.
If
And
you
at the
research
end-
it, you know that date is. If somebody wants to find out, they can find the vital record from your date, right?
Right, and you've already listed it as a source,
Okay.
and you've already listed it as a reason why you updated it. So you don't have to add anything extra.
Oh, great.
But it is going to ask you, why are you doing this? And
Right.
you can say, dates and places tell me this is the same person, but number such and such has more correct, extensive information or something like that. And then you click, okay, I want to merge, and it will merge it.
But
they
you
also have 4 standardized pre-read reasons that are very nice to have. There's like 4 of them, and you can actually click on one of those reasons that most fits why you're making the merge, and that makes it really nice and
Oh,
easy, because
I
they'll
haven't
say,
even noticed those, Diane. I'll look for them.
oh, I click them all the time because it
Yeah.
saves me so much time. It'll say, it actually types both PID numbers there, and it will give a reason why for each one. The first one being the information is correct and you can tell it's correct. It even goes, the worst one is even, I suspect that they're the same person. And so there's actually, you can just choose from them. You don't even have to write your own reasons out.
I like that.
But
And
you
then
have-
there's one more thing you have to know, Rick, and it's very important. And that is, if later you find out you did it wrong, you can go back and change it.
Right, right.
It's nothing is written in stone.
Yeah, I've read how you do the unmerge.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't always have to merge somebody just because they have the same name and approximate dates. Sometimes they can be different people. And
But sometimes they are the same person. It's very obvious.
well, that's true, but sometimes it's not. And so you have to make sure not to merge them then, because then you take their record off.
Right, right. You said be sure of what you're doing, or you're going to do that.
Well, and what I like to do is I like to bring up both of them at the same time. Nancy writes down the numbers, but you can do that, of course, but I'll just bring them up on another tab so I can compare them back and forth. I can look at this one, I can look at that one, and then I can see, oh, it has the same parents' names. Oh, okay, it's the same. It's got to be the same person. Or, oops, those parents' names are different. Or they have the wrong wife or something. And so sometimes it helps just to bring up both PID numbers at the same time and look at them both so you can compare them.
Now, to do that, you have to have the computer skill of being able to share your screen, the left half and the right half with similar information. And every now and again, I learn how to do that, and then I forget.
Well, you just have to not even to have the screens next to each other, but just have a different tab. You can just bounce back and forth.
Okay, so like up in the top, across the top of your computer screen, you can have different tabs open. You can open up family search and pull up one person, and then you can click on the positive sign and pull up family search and put another person.
Well, let me remind you though, if you want to remember how to open up two screens, would you guys like to remember how to do that? I can have Nancy do it right now. I can walk her through it.
Then am I on sharing screen?
Yes. So if you take your mouse down where your browser is, whether it's Google Chrome or whatever, and do a right click on that.
A right click.
Do a right click.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, you see where it says, I'm trying to read it so little. New window. Do you see where it says new window?
I see it right here.
Okay, click new window.
Okay.
And then if you put your arrow on the side, then you can make it smaller, and you can click and drag at the top bar at the top of it. You can click and drag it over to the side, and then on the sides of it, you put your mouse where it looks like an arrow. If you bring your mouse over to one of the sides, Nancy.
My mouse is on the side.
Well, maybe to the other side, because that one's kind of against the wall. To where it's like an arrow, and then push it in.
It's just a move.
It's not doing it.
Yeah, it should turn into two vertical lines. I mean, I've done resizing of windows, but.
Okay, well, that's what you do. Once you get the two windows up there, you just resize them so that they're next to each other.
Okay. Well, I thought I had to hook a vital record to my merge somehow.
No, you do not.
That was holding me back.
Okay, so you just do that ahead of time on the page using the number that you think is the correct person or your own person. Yeah.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
And what's nice about the merge window, as they have refined it, is that you can look all the way down and you'll be able to see what is different for each of the two numbers. Like maybe on one of them it lists more wife information, and on the other one it lists more parental information. And so you're able to refine that and get it the way you want it.
That's great. Thanks.
I'm glad you asked that, because probably somebody else wondered the same thing.
Okay, it's time to close. So, any volunteers for closing prayer? Diane, would you like to give a closing prayer?